everyone, welcome to Strong Mind Self-Tap. My name is Joelle and this is my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I would love to invite you to subscribe if you are interested in homeschooling, particularly Australian homeschooling and all things mum life. We do a wide range of topics on this channel. I actually put out videos on Mondays, Thursdays and Saturdays, but today is a bonus because I'm so excited to be part of a collab with a bunch of other Aussie homeschool mamas. Thank you Kylie, Raina for organising this. We are all going to be talking about our homeschool philosophies or the way we homeschool, our homeschool style. So I will be linking their channels in the description box below. Please go check out their channels, watch their videos. You will gain so much information. I can't wait to watch all of their videos too and learn about their homeschooling styles and some tips and tricks and all of that, and just a bit more of a look into the world of homeschooling. So to give you some context, David and I are blessed with 5 beautiful children. They are ranging in ages from 10, 8, almost 7, 5 and 1. So we are formally schooling 4 of them at the moment, and obviously my 1-year-old is just coming along for the ride for the time being, and we absolutely love it. I have been homeschooling since my oldest was in preschool, so we're now in our 6th year of homeschooling, and I'm not going to make this video about what is a homeschool philosophy. I'd love to do that in the future. Actually, my friend Kylie on her channel, which is linked below, has a great video on homeschool philosophies. I think it's actually 2 videos, really explaining in a lot of good detail about all the different philosophies. So if you're interested, go check that out. But I'm just going to talk about our philosophy and how we have come to homeschool in the way that we do. Without going into great detail, the main homeschool philosophies that if you do a Google, you will come up with these main homeschool philosophies. You've got classical, Charlotte Mason, Montessori, unschooling, school at home, unit studies, and eclectic. You can probably hear my family in the background because we all do live here. So some of my boys are all in the front yard. They are actually on their bikes right now getting firewood. We live right across the road from the bush. So they're getting firewood, just kindling that's on the ground there because we can have a fire and do some marshmallows. And my girls are playing in the other room and my husband is watching the Olympics. So if you can hear some background noise, it's all happening. Okay, that's family life, isn't it? So when we first started homeschooling, when my husband and I made the decision that we would be homeschoolers, I had this vision in my head. And the vision I had in my head, the dream that I had in my head, was very Charlotte Mason-like. The style of homeschooling that I wanted for my family was Charlotte Mason. 100%, it's what I dreamt about. I imagined myself as the maternal motherly teacher with all my children and reading good living books to them and them taking part in the household chores and us learning and just being holistic learners and classical learners all together. And to be honest, it's still so much my heart. It's still my dream. But when you have 5 kids, particularly when your first 4 were super duper close together, a whole bunch of stuff can happen and you have to be pretty flexible. And needless to say, my homeschooling style, my homeschooling philosophy changed drastically. So if I had to sum up what my homeschooling philosophy is, or philosophies are, I would say this. I am a Charlotte Masoner, is that the word? A Charlotte, oh my goodness, I need a coffee. A Charlotte Mason homeschooler in my heart. However, we tend to be a bit more eclectic, unschooling unit studiers. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if there's anybody else out there like me. I hope there is. We have had to mumble jumble a whole bunch of stuff to make this work for our family and to fit for our family, but we absolutely love it. So I love unschooling. I never ever pictured myself unschooling in any way, shape or form. I had a pretty bad stigma against it. However, during different seasons of our homeschool life, when I have been, I say severely pregnant, you know, when you're in your 9th month of pregnancy, or when we've had, you know, that newborn stage, and I've had just these default times of homeschooling that have turned into unschooling, and they have been some of the best parts of our learning. I remember particularly one time, David and I sacrificed for about 3 or 4 months working non-stop. So I was working in a nursing home, I was working night shifts, he was working 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. We were working. because we were saving our money so that we could take our children, our 4 children at the time, Michaela was not born yet, to Poland. That was our dream. And so during that time of investment and me working those night shifts, I was not exactly in my best state in the daytime because I was working and I needed to sleep during the daytime. But it was all for a cause. It was all for a reason, because I knew the investment that we were putting in at that time was going to pay off with being able to take our kids to Poland. So during that season of us working so super hard, we naturally went into this unschooling rhythm, and it was wonderful. My children still learned. They still learned plenty of things, but there was no formal sit down structured learning during those months because there just couldn't be. However, when we went to Poland, that will go down in history as one of the best times in our family's lives. Not only emotionally and sentimentally was it so important. We got to visit David's grandparents, so the kids' great grandparents. The amount of learning that happened in that trip, from leaving our home in Western Sydney to arriving, and we left in the middle of summer, to arriving in the middle of winter in Warsaw, Poland, the things that we learned: weather differences, geography, transportation, science, culture, language, history. There was so much. I need to make a whole video just on that alone. The learning that they had and the life experience that they had in that trip alone, in my opinion, was the same amount of learning that it would have taken them 2 or 3 years to have in a formal sit-down setting. They learned so much, and their minds were so expanded, and their life experience was huge. They have traveled to Europe. They have experienced Europe. They have experienced their culture and where they're from and their family's history and background. That's unschooling, and I absolutely love it. But we don't unschool all the time. So we unschool when the time calls for it. So heavily pregnant, having babies, working night shifts, different seasons like this, we have unschooled, gone back to our, eclectic style. Unschooled, gone back to our eclectic style. Now, what works for us when we are not unschooling is unit studies. And I didn't really consider, I kind of thought unit studies might be for us later on down the road. I didn't consider it for us this early on. However, we did come across a wonderful curriculum called Gather Round Homeschooling, and it is by Rebecca Spooner in America, and it is this awesome range of unit studies on so many different topics. So we have done the oceans, we've done Christmas, we're now working on space, and we've got the human body next. So I've only started doing these unit studies since last year. So we are really enjoying it. And to be honest, I don't know how many of the unit studies with Gather Round we will do. I would like to do quite a lot of them, but regardless of that, I do believe we will use that unit studies structure for my children, simply because I have so many kids at different ages that it would take me 8 hours to school them individually. So the wonderful thing about unit studies is we sit down as a family, we have our what I call group time in the morning. There's little May. I'm going to see if she's okay. She's okay. We have our group time in the morning where we do our devotions and our memory verse. There's a little bit of Charlotte Mason for you there. And we do our read aloud and that sort of thing. And then we sit down for our lesson. And I only have to read the lesson once. I read it once to everybody. Then we get the workbooks out and we work, and they're each at their own level. And I help them all. So instead of it taking, 8 hours, it takes me maybe 3 hours for the whole school day, start to finish, from group time right through to the end, no longer than 3 hours. It's so doable for us, and it allows plenty of time for my kids to have that free play and just that freedom, which is so important to me. Now, I still really do love the Charlotte Mason philosophy, and in my heart, I still claim to be a Charlotte Mason homeschooler. I really do. I love that she delays formal learning until about the age of 6. I have done that with all of my kids. When they're ready, they're ready. So Lily has shown, she's only 5, and she's shown some interest in reading. So of course I'm introducing her to that because she wants to and she's interested. But I don't push anything before the age of 6. And then even when they are 6 and they start that formal learning, I keep it really short and really concise. There's no need to dump a whole bunch of stuff on your 6-year-old's head. Let them be kids, let them play, let them learn. I love my children learning from read alouds. Our whole history is done through read aloud at the moment. We're doing Story of the World, and they learn, they absorb it. We do comprehension in that they, to speak back to me what we've just learned. We talk about the different points together. Memorization, they memorize their memory verses, all of that. So in my heart, I still really do take a Charlotte Mason approach. I hope one day when the children are older that we could possibly do that even more, but we'll just wait and see. We're really enjoying where we are at for right now. That's my kids in the background. Yeah, we're loving it. Unit studies, bit of unschooling, bit of Charlotte Mason. So I think if you put those all together, you get an eclectic homeschooler, which is what I definitely am. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please go check out these other YouTube homeschool mamas. Go check them out in my description below. You will enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here today. I will see you very soon with another video. God bless you. Bye.